And we are live.
What is going on, everybody? Frankie here for the Bakersfield Gentleman with my brother Miguel here at Clubbers Lounge in Bakersfield, California. It is another warm day, but not unbearable. So,
No,
for this time of the year, we're actually really happy with where we're at. I mean, we're going to be through 2 full months of what we call our summer without really more than one day in triple digits. So, that's an amazing feat among itself. So,
there's a
um,
minimum amazing feeling,
hmm
wasn't it? Wasn't
hmm
it just amazing?
Okay, no one wants to be a bitch today. That's great. Anyways, so a couple of things really quick. We are going to have, if everything holds steady, a special show next week on Tuesday. For a company that they had request a special day, which is fine. So we might have 3 shows in a row. I don't know. Maybe we'll skip Monday or Wednesday. Um,
No, let's keep it all going. Let's just do it. The reason though, they are quite far away, so they kind of deserve, and I appreciate them asking for
yeah,
that time. So it's totally cool.
that, and we're setting up all of our PCA appointments. Already got the calendar in and starting to fill it out pretty nicely.
Yes, very excited about that. I cannot wait for all that. I also cannot wait to tell you about our deal. But before we go into promotions, a big thank you to our sponsors up there in the corner. Cigar Heritage Festival. Definitely check them out. Check out all their retail stores in Florida and in California. And Artista Cigars spreading that love across the country and making really good cigars, not unlike they do for us. So that's a little plug for ourselves. Pariah Cigars. We're running our deal right now, guys, and we wanted to get a little something fancier for you guys. So let me put this on screen. We got this cool deal we're doing with Work Hard Supply Co. It is the whiskey and cigar T-shirt. So if you get either of these packs coming up, I want to show you the shirt first because it's a really cool shirt. But if you get either of the packs that it comes with, you've got any 3 of these you want plus the T-shirt for $99, or you get no, that's cap. You don't get cap. Sorry, that's not going to happen. You can get 15 cigars as well with this deal. You get 2 packs of California Dreamin' plus 5 sticks. So we give you an assortment of Pariah and the T-shirt for 110. So it usually costs 110 for the limited edition. We're giving you the best deal we possibly could with all of them. So without further ado, I kind of already gave away the intro. I showed a picture of her before I actually said who it was. So that kind of ruined my, whatever. She's coming on screen now.
Yeah,
Boom.
you basically ruined the show.
I messed it up. I am so sorry, Kat. Oh my goodness.
I didn't get all my sharing in. I'm sorry.
I mean, I didn't realize I was for sale, so here we
Yeah,
are.
that was not part of the promotional deals. I don't think it works that way. We're definitely not promoting it on the internet. No, we
No,
are not Wayfair. No, none of that.
nope, nope.
But speaking of you and being here, thank you so much for doing so.
Happy to see you guys. I mean, it's been TPE was the last time I saw you
hmm
guys. So February. Am I getting my months right? It's been a fast year. So
It really has. Like you blink, and we're gonna be back at TPE soon. I think.
uh, we're 2 weeks out.
For PCA now, and then I
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I am excited, but we mentioned this off screen. Not really prepared.
not prepared. No. Well, and I heard a rumor that next year TPE and PCA are going to be like a month apart. Have you guys
They are.
also
That in
heard
fact
that?
is true.
That's very true.
Um,
Yeah.
Due to the scheduling that PCA was doing, unfortunately, they didn't secure um, Sands Expo Center in time, and the Star Trek people pay a lot more money, and
Mm,
so they went to March. So we'll be, I believe it's March.
Before your birthday, I
It's
believe.
right before my birthday, so
Yeah.
I think it ends like around St. Patrick's Day, the 17th.
oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, they are moving to March. That'll just be for one year, because 2025, if what they were telling us in our media meeting was true, the next show may be in New Orleans or in Tampa. So
I've
one
also
more year
heard
in
that.
Vegas.
Yeah, I heard, yeah, one more year in Vegas, and then I also heard New Orleans. So,
That's the heavy front runner right now, I believe. They're
mm,
still working out the logistics as far as pricing and stuff, but I think New Orleans is where it's going to be at. Which, honestly, to me, is fine because I've never been. I've been to Vegas tons of times, so
right.
it'd be a nice change. I told them to have it up in Reno, so that was mine.
There's there's no cigar culture up here though. Like we have 4 shops now, I think. So,
Man, for Reno, I'm a little surprised though. I thought there'd be at least a couple more.
no. So we have Fumari. right? Who is owned by Dion, who owns Illusione Cigars,
Awesome.
and then we have a couple of like local. There's a new lounge. It's called Rail City, and then a couple of like really old school shops that have been here for a long time. But that's pretty much it.
Rail City. Do they have multiple shops like in another state or something? Because I've heard that name before.
I don't know, but they're, from what I understand, they're like a boutique only little
Oh
cigar shop.
wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we were
but
just we were here last night with the Ashton rep,
mm,
talking about shops that only do boutique cigars and how that's a real big challenge in itself because it may be a popular cigar, to you, but there's lots of people that never heard of them and people that only smoke their Fuentes or their Padrones and the
right.
challenges that come with that.
Well, and not to mention that like when you get those guys that have smoked Padrones or, Fuentes for years, they don't typically venture out anymore. So,
No, stuck in their ways. It's
yeah.
all right. Let's just be honest. Most guys are stubborn, and you can be stubborn in so many different ways. Like you could be one of those guys. Like, no, I only smoke certain cigars. Or no, I want to try something new all the time. I wouldn't smoke these legacy brands all the time. It gets redundant on both sides. But I understand though at the same time. If you found something you like,
Smoke
I
it.
understand it.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it.
I mean, like, I'm never gonna pass up like a Padron. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, how dare I smoke this?
But
So,
oh goodness, yeah. No, I love the 64. It's one of my favorites. It really is. I like the
mm-hmm.
1000 series. I like quite a few of those. So
Fair.
yeah, it's never gonna like be one or the other. It's one and then the other probably.
Right.
I might have a problem. I've started hiding cigars under my bed. I have an emergency pack in my backpack. That's not even a joke. I actually do have a pack in there.
Why are you hiding cigars under your bed?
Just well, you have
Who are you
certain
hiding them
people
from?
you don't trust or the government. I know we're not. I told you we're not going to get it political, but they're coming for your cigars. Be careful out there. If you put a tinfoil hat on, they can't sense when you're smoking cigars. I
It's
heard that.
true. It's
Yeah.
true. So,
I'm gonna go into business with you. We're gonna have the first government shielded cigar smoking hats, so they can't tell when you're smoking.
let's
Now,
do
now
it.
we're onto something.
I like it. So, what are you guys looking most forward to at PCA this year?
It's got to be the same as so many years since being allowed to go and like be invited with other companies. It is seeing everybody again. It's so wonderful to get to see these, very hardworking and very friendly and open people from these
Mm-hmm.
different companies that at first were just, either pictures on the internet and talking to them like this, or just smoking a cigar and like, oh, okay, that's cool, to getting to know the names and the faces behind the brands, and not just the owners, but the reps
Right.
and those who are working, for marketing or just logistics or what sort of accessories and stuff. The people have really been the reason why I stick around, because I love cigars, but I love the industry more because of the people in it. And the new releases are always awesome. I've never been disappointed. There's always been something like, okay, I'm really excited for such and suches or whatnot, or
Mhm.
seeing Cinco when she first started doing Dissident and all that getting going.
Well, and to be fair, I think PCA we see the releases there and not at TPE. I mean,
Right.
Very true.
I always look forward to PCA because it's like, oh, what's coming out? Like, what's new? And I've already seen some like trickle ins from Instagram,
Hmm.
of like some announcements of new stuff. And I'm like, oh, finally. Because TPE, you go and it's great and you see everyone, but it's like, do you have anything new? And it's like, no. And you're like, okay, I will just hang out. Like, what do you? So,
Yeah, yeah, no, I completely get that. Yeah, we've been getting emails recently about the new stuff that's going to be unveiled at PCA. So I've been putting those out little by little. Definitely
mhm.
Roma Craft is one that I'm looking forward to. This is their first new cigar in like 4 years. So
Are they
looking
going?
forward to that. Yeah,
Oh, I thought they weren't going this year
no, they announced that they're going to release it at PCA without going to PCA. Yeah,
because they weren't there last year. I thought, or they
Oh,
had a little
no,
tiny
they were
booth.
there, but
There's a
it was
tiny
a
booth.
table and a couple chairs, and Mike Rosales was there. Um, what was I gonna say? I think for me the big thing I'm looking forward to this year is how they're incorporating the Boutique Cigar Association onto the floor plan. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen how the aisles are gonna go, but I want to know if they're gonna have the pavilion, like if they're gonna have like a big giant square and they're kind of to themselves, or they're gonna be in the middle. If they're gonna have the pavilions like at TPE where it's just like 2 blocks of the little signs and stuff. So
Well, Caffey put out some information about that. Like you can see an outline of it, and it looks really cool.
mhm.
A lot of companies, a lot of really, I would say, some heavy hitting cigars in there. There's some wonderful sticks.
Well, Oscar said there was like 35 companies going for the BCA.
Oh,
I,
really?
I'm not even sure. That's a lot. Yeah.
Well, I felt like last year at PCA there were a ton of new boutique, like little cigar companies that had started up. Like, oh, I thought that there was more than there were the big guys and just people trying to establish themselves and get some recognition.
Hmm.
So I'll be curious to see if it's going to be the same this year because there weren't as many big companies. But I've heard that not Padron, who's coming back that hasn't been there in a while? Was
Drew
it Dava?
Estate.
No, Generals this year, then Drew Estate.
Yeah, it's like I heard Drew Estate isn't going to be there, but General's coming. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Drew Estate will be there next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they already have their plans for 2024, which I'm very happy to see.
Hmm.
Who are we still with? Is it Davidoff that needs to come back, or
Davidoff, yeah.
yeah? So they're just like, I saw a meme, someone putting like PCA collecting the Infinity Stones, like Thanos, and like that's the last one they need. I'm like, kind of true, kind of
But-
true.
I mean, nothing against Davidoff. They make
Amazing
stuff,
cigars.
but-
yeah.
Do you miss them not being? I mean, I hardly remember ever talking to them when they're there because they're there for the business. They really don't talk to us all that much. And
But I feel like that's all the big boxes, right? Like, I mean, how much do you really, unless you know someone really well, right? Like, I'm not ever wandering into like Padron's booth, like I'm not gonna go. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we'll talk to Carlito and Jose Blanco for a bit, but that's just because they knew our name, and I'm like, yeah, that's not. I don't think that's real. You don't really, like okay. So it's always a wonderful experience just to get to say hi.
Right.
But it's not like you said. It's not really like I'm probing them for information, like I'm kind of doing to some of the other guys. So I feel a little weird about because they're trying to do work, but at the same time, like, so what can I promote? Give me some tidbits here. That's a real word, by the way. So
tidbits.
Tidbits, yeah. That's a proper professional journalist term, okay? Which I am not.
Sounds Algonquin.
It's Algonquin for awesome, all right?
Mm-hmm. So, Kat, what about you then? What are you looking most forward to?
Well, the new releases that I've seen for sure. Like I saw Cavalier's going to release one. I think Foundation.
Yeah, the second one in that new line. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm excited.
I'm waiting on an email for them to get our time slot.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
felt so bad last year. We had made an appointment, and then when Friday came around, like we thought we were going to get our interviews in on Friday, and it goes, oh no, that's just a party on Friday night. We had to push all of our stuff back, and we missed our appointment with them, and like he was pissed. I felt so bad.
I have to say, like the way they present the schedule every year, you always feel like it's the day of and it's really the next day.
Right.
I think besides this year, every single show I've always booked too far in advance and I'm there like a day and a half early. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll just hang out in Vegas. So.
Yeah, what else are you supposed to do at that point? They're just like, well, now stand there and wait for the party.
Right. But yeah, so the new releases like Cavalier, I think Foundation's coming out with one. I don't remember the name of it. I just saw like story announcements and stuff like that. But more of like the mid-level, like kind of boutique cigar companies that like are just edging up there to be the big guys. I want to know if Warped is going to be there because they're releasing a new cigar right now. So I'm curious if Kyle will show up. And then obviously seeing everybody again. I mean, we have to have our dark room eating experience that we talk about every year. So
yeah, I think we there's not enough meals to catch up to talk about it as much as we actually go because we have not. But what was the full story? If we can go back to the way back machine of just close your eyes and enjoy the food.
Do we need to tell that? I don't think we need to tell the full story.
No, I think it's just the fact that we found a dine in the dark restaurant after talking about something so weird like that. And then we've all decided, yeah, we're totally going to go. Never gone. We need to make it happen.
Peter just asked it. I did win the long ash competition, which I think was like a year and a half ago now. With Coco. Yeah. We got to do that again.
I'm gonna say you are not allowed to participate. I think there was some drug testing that we should have done,
Probably.
There was some
yeah,
performance enhancers,
yeah. I'm just
Definitely.
human growth hormones and whatnot.
Yeah. It was actually a fake hand. You guys I had,
It was there
Yeah.
just super steady on like some kind of
Just-
like vice or something, so it would
had
never
it.
move.
oh
had it
genius.
just balanced,
I can't even be
So
mad at that. That deserves the win. My God.
if I remember though, my ash fell like half a second after Coco's did.
Yeah, they were both
wasn't-
doing really well.
Yeah.
And I remember Peter, or was it Anthony who smoked through their band like no problem? Was it Anthony? Okay, that was impressive. That was dedication right there.
That was dedication.
And here's probably the most hard hitting fact question here. Archie saying, "What's her favorite Ninja Turtle?" Oof, that's a tough
Now
one.
this is gonna help us or hurt us with followers right now. So I hope your answer's right.
It's Donatello, guys. Like
Donnie.
every time. Sorry.
I mean, the correct answer is Raphael, but it's okay.
No, he's the angry one. Like how?
Everyone loves the angry one, fights and stuff, and then he gets stabbed by a baseball bat or something in the movies. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember too much, but he's the best. I'll say that.
Okay, well, we'll agree to disagree on this, people.
Why? Because
So-
what's yours?
Moving
Yeah.
on.
Go ahead.
No,
yeah,
what is
Leonardo.
yours?
Leonardo.
Take the blue.
I would say Leonardo is my second favorite. So, but I mean Donatello, he's the intelligent one, that like thinks things out. I don't know. Just
Fair. That's fair.
personal preference.
That's the first time I've heard nobody mention Michelangelo, though. Usually he's a fan favorite right there.
I will say
It's
he is
funny.
a survivor. He is the last Ronin, so
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sad comic. I'm
that's a
not
sad comic right there.
going into that. Got Barry checking in. Says cat. I like that.
But
Was it a
yeah,
question?
I don't know. Was that a question?
You made it sound like a question.
I did. That was my fault. There was no question mark at the end of that.
There was no question mark.
There was none. But I did like the spelling of it still. A lot
Yeah.
of K's, a lot of A's, a lot of T's. Appreciate that. But there was a couple questions I also wanted to talk to you about what you are smoking today.
Ooh, I'm glad that you asked. So I'm actually smoking your guys's. It's the Lucky You. So, which I have to say, I'm rather enjoying, and the construction's really good, guys. So
Thank you.
Yeah. I would probably do an ash competition with this, just saying, But
I've got a couple that were pretty long on there. Probably not as impressive as you could pull off with the same cigar, but I'm gonna give you a run for your money next time. I am going to do my best.
I have to say I'm out of practice, so this might be your opportunity because,
Oh.
I finally grew out of that like stage where you try to see as much ash as you can possibly get. So I'm not practicing anymore. Fair chance.
I like it.
Now, but to kind of tag on to Miguel's question here, besides our cigar you're smoking right now, what have you been smoking recently that you really enjoyed?
Ooh, so actually solid answer on that one. Illusione just redid original documents, which I don't know if you guys know this. So Dion rewrapped, and he has a new Maduro and a new Habano out, and they're done by AJ, and they are fire, especially the Lanceros, and I can't stop buying them. Like I just go down to Famaria and buy them because I need them. So
I forget what cigar it is from Illusion that I won because I won our 9-ball tournament, and the guy that gave out this prize, he told me it was like a first release of like one of the first cigars he did. I gotta find them because they're sealed away in my aging humidor.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
I gotta show them to you, and then maybe I'll send a picture to Dion so you can see and tell me exactly what they are.
It's probably, I mean, his first line was original documents.
Mhm.
So it's probably out of that. It might be like my personal favorite is the 888 Slam, which isn't of the core line, but it was kind of pushed into it last year because it's a box press.
Mhm.
But the 888 is fire. The F9 is fire. Like there's not a bad cigar in that entire line.
Awesome.
But,
I
yeah.
believe that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And the only reason he brought up that he has those cigars is to mention that he won the tournament, right? Like that's the only reason.
Well, of course.
Yeah,
Naturally.
he got lucky twice and beat two guys that are much better at pool than either of us are. So I'm not gonna give it to him.
That
this
is
time.
false, and I will not have
That's fair.
false information spread on here will not be fact checked. They actually beat themselves because they knocked the wrong balls in. So that's on them.
Oh, okay, that's fair. There you go. So you
There is also, have you guys had the 13th anniversary from Room 101 yet?
No, I had the
No.
12. Have not had the 13th.
So I've had the 10 through the 13. The 10 still my original favorite, but I just found a 13. I was up in Portland for work and I wandered into like a shop and they happened to have a box. So I grabbed a couple, but Booth did good with that one for
Yeah.
sure. So, yeah.
I love that when you go into a new shop and you're not really, maybe not even looking for something new. You're just looking for something to smoke then. And all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
these little treasures pop up that's just not in your area for whatever the reason might be, ran out or just didn't get them. All of a
Right.
sudden, you're walking out with a box worth of random stuff. It's like, I might have spent too much, but worth it.
I mean, I feel that way every time I come across a Byron, because I
Yeah,
rarely see those. And I'm just like, okay, we're just take my money. Like,
I need this, but you're all expensive. Actually, I really like the Bandoleros, though. If we're gonna go like Lord Byron I think the Bandoleros are that great like in betweener of that, not as mild as the Atabays, not quite as refined as the Byrons, but
true.
really delicious. And I think they're like even $15 here in California,
15 to 20.
something like that. So it's not
That's not
unbelievably
bad.
crazy, but it's California still. So
Fair.
yeah,
With your lovely tax over there.
it's something. They're really debating using all that money to do some of the things they said they were going to. So that's cool.
Well, so what was that law they just passed, though? Anyone past the age of, or what year born can't buy tobacco now? Like, what's that all
No,
about?
that didn't pass. That
Oh,
was
yeah,
that
it
was
didn't?
proposed,
Yeah.
but it never went. Yeah.
Okay, I heard that it passed, and I was like, oh my God. Because, like,
Yeah, no.
everything that you guys do, we do. And I was like, no.
Don't like that. So be careful with those flavor bans soon, which I know it probably doesn't affect you too much, but the shops,
But you know what? On like a rare occasion, if I can smoke some pipe tobacco, I will. So it's kind of a bummer when you think about it.
Yeah. We were lucky enough that all pipe tobacco got exempt from that. So
Oh, okay.
So that's safe for now.
For now, yeah.
But the rules are so ambiguous and just kind of arbitrary that most shops are still selling, acids, and they'll have a little cabinet of Javas and whatnot, which that's fine once in a while, but it's not so much for me. It's just I feel bad for other people who enjoy that.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to worry about that.
Well, I mean, acids, not my preference, but I mean, is the number 1 cigar in the world. Like, that's how much that cigar sells. Like, it's crazy. So people smoke them, but I don't know.
Brings them into new stuff too. I've seen a lot of guys start with acids or flavored, and all of a sudden, they're going to those traditional flavors. They get to the core lines of stuff, and then they start hopefully becoming more nerdly as they go along with it. I enjoy that transition.
It's definitely a gateway cigar.
Saying that, Terry, it sounds so bad, but it's so true at the same time. Acid is a gateway, yes.
I mean, God, when I first started smoking cigars, like, my real first true cigar was an Illusione, but I mean, I tried dirts, I tried black and milds, Swisher Sweet, stuff like that. And so, I mean, it kind of leads you there, right?
It's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. So how long have you been smoking for now? I know we've probably talked about this before, but just for everyone else.
For actual cigar smoking, probably 6 years now. Yeah.
Okay.
I ran a hookah lounge in my early 20s. So I've always been kind of like a dabbler in smoking. I've never done cigarettes or menthols or anything like that, but I smoked a lot of hookah in my younger age. And then, as you guys probably recall, like, I worked in hospice and we would go get a cigar midweek to decompress from our very often depressing jobs. So, but yeah, that's how I really got started and was introduced to Famari and just walked into the humidor. And luckily, the guys that work there are amazing and very non-judgmental of women. I was asked the appropriate questions of, what do you like to eat? Like, do you like really spicy? Do you like really sweet? Do you like kind of in the middle? And that was, okay, you probably want like an earthy middle tone cigar, and that was a AAA Illusione from original documents. So which is a massive cigar, by the way, to first start smoking. So
What do you call it? They knew you had the stuff to take care of it. You're fine.
there were a few times where I'd go home and be like just on the couch for like a day and a half because of the nicotine content.
You know what? You are not alone though. Don't feel bad because there was a time. It's 17th Street Cigar Bar here in town. The humidor is not really great, but it's the only place you could buy a drink and a cigar. So,
Which
you
is
know,
important.
yeah. So once in a while, we'll go patronize that place. It's wonderful. Or whatever, however you pronounce it. Anyway, I go in and I'm smoking not even anything that heavy, if I recall. And just a few minutes in, I just feel the sweats, the cold sweats, and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be so bad. Like this is not." And I don't want to leave. There's a game on. I have half a beer left. I'm gonna go stand outside for a moment, and I may or may not have had to use the back of my car to cover where I might have thrown up at one point.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think I was very gentleman about it because I hit it as best I could. I will say that. So it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I think my first Maduro I ever had, it turned me green. And I'd already been smoking for like a year. So when I started venturing out a little bit, but
Nice.
not now. God, I can smoke the crap out of those.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden it seems like, well, why was I so? Yeah. What's changed? Well, 3 a day, definitely changes your pattern a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. And it's crazy how many more people I hear smoking more cigars in the same day. Like before, I always hear it's like, oh, I'll have like 2 or 3 a week. Now I hear a lot of guys, I'll have 2 a day. I'll have like 1 in the morning and then 1 at night, or I'll have 2 with buddies after work or something. Have you noticed any kind of changes in your area with like people you hang out with, recently at least?
No, because I mean, I'm a part of a private club in Reno, and those guys are consistent and smoke the same stuff and never venture out, and then you have the guys at Fumari that smoke and they're just as much the same. So I have noticed though, probably more people from like our generation smoking and coming in and like asking about cigars and learning about them more. So like that's been interesting. But yeah, I think that there's this kind of like growth again and like they're becoming more popular, but that's just my opinion. So I don't know if you guys have noticed that too or not.
Well, definitely during COVID, we saw that big spike of people buying cigars. Everybody's at home, got that stimulus check you want to spend, so the government can't take it back. So there's definitely that spike. It's somewhat leveled off now. We're hearing more people say, okay, but it's getting back to normal, which is good. But at least it's steady. Right. But yeah, definitely lots of different types of smokers we saw come in. So that was really cool to see. We had a few father and son people that would come in on Fridays, and they'd all sit down and smoke. Buddies come in after work that just started and we're trying out different things. So that's always nice to see the new smokers.
Yeah, and I would say more female smokers now too, which has been interesting.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. It was funny. I was golfing a couple of weeks ago, and I always smoke 4 or 5 cigars when I golf because that's just what you do, right? And for the first time golfing, we were paired up with like 2 other people that weren't of our party, and the old guys were complaining that I was smoking too much, and I thought that was hilarious because it was the first time it's ever happened to me golfing. Like most of the time, they're trying to like snag some cigars off me, but this was the first time where they're like, "Can you not smoke like around us?" And I was like, okay.
Wow.
I'm so sorry we're outside right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
I don't even know what I would say to that.
Well, we've run into situations like that. We were at a car and air show.
Yeah.
And we were I would say about a street length away, like if you're just crossing the street from the stage, on the other side with their booth selling cigars. And there was one band up. I forget who they were, but their manager came over and asked us not to smoke because it's affecting the singer's voice. And
seriously,
right behind the stage, there's people smoking cigarettes, like right up against it, waiting for the next band to perform. We're like, well, those guys, but all right, fine. I guess it's us. We're the problem.
You are the problem. I'm
used to that though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of like my gender or people think I'm approachable for some reason, but I get told more often than not that I shouldn't be smoking cigars, which I find like pretty amusing actually.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I've
well, approachable. I don't know. You still scare me sometimes. I don't know. You got the badass attitude. You know, you
that's
carry yourself. You know.
that's fair. So,
I
but
will say with all of the events that we've done, even with those few uh people that got upset, oh, can you not smoke while they're performing? We've had people come in while we're smoking because we smoke at the tent, kind of get people to come in,
right.
and we've had more people come in just to smell the smoke because it
Yeah.
reminds them of their father or their grandfather or somebody in their house that they love.
Sorry guys.
No
Oh, no
worries.
worries.
Um, More than people, said, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's bad for you. So that is crazy.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
certainly feels different. Ooh.
it's weird because I've had like people tell me like it's unbecoming of a woman to smoke cigars, or they recommend the smaller cigars for me, or it's just not ladylike, or whatever the case may be. But it like opens this weird door for people to comment towards it,
Oof.
That's when you
which
just grab an asylum, light it up, and say, "You were saying, sweetheart."
what were you saying? Right.
Oh,
Sorry,
I'm
I
so
can't hear you
sorry.
over the smoking.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous. I don't understand people like that. To tell you how to do anything in your own life, you know, and to approach a stranger and tell them,
Just mind your business.
yeah,
Like, I'm not gonna walk up to a cigarette smoker and be like, "Why are you smoking a cigarette? Like, you know that will kill you, right? Like, just leave me alone."
yeah, yeah, just let them do their thing. And yes, Peter, you are right. She probably could. I'm not going to test that theory. I'm going to leave that out of it. I'm usually a very nice person, so I do not get punched very often. So it's a
I
good
don't,
thing.
I don't have the desire to punch you, so I think we're okay.
Yet,
Yet.
That's also fair. That's very fair. Anyway, yeah, no, I just yeah, I remember there was it's kind of related here, but there was a time I was at the grocery store and some guy was talking to the cash register lady, and they were talking about their dog and that he ate some of his chocolate one time and he laughed about it. And chocolate's not good for dogs. We all know that. But the lady behind me kind of pops her head out, looking at him just dead eyed, and starts cussing at him about letting his dog eat chocolate. And I'm like,
like
I
loud.
try not to be in the middle of them. Like, oh man, I really need this raisin brand. Oh my god! And just there's some people out there who will just impose their opinions on you, whether and even if you do agree with them, sometimes it's like that's not the way
Right.
to do it.
It's like I'm sure he knows, sweetheart, that they're not good for dogs, but now he
Right.
did it on purpose. Dog got
Right.
into his chocolate.
Yeah, and they
You
were
know,
Right.
she's just f you, and your dog should be taken away. And oh man, she caused a scene.
I I don't know what this is like in this current culture that we have where people feel so entitled to like make a stance on everything, let alone like go up to a complete stranger and voice your opinion directly towards them. Now, if I like was walking around, I'd be like, "What's your opinion on cigars?" And they're like, "Oh, I hate them." I'd be like, "Okay, that makes sense." But like I'm minding my own business. I'm smoking a cigar. Like just leave me alone, you know?
Hmm.
And I mean, I was in Dallas a few weeks ago, which the cigar culture there is amazing.
oh
Like, I
Yep.
don't know
yeah,
if you guys have ever been, but
We
like,
love it.
actually go to Dallas once a year
do
for a
you?
horror convention,
Oh,
and
that's
we
fun.
actually started bringing cigars little by little. Like first, I buy him a box of Andalusian Bulls on his birthday. His birthday is
Right.
May 2nd, and the convention's usually around his birthday. And so, at first it was just a few cigars, then the box for me and him to share. And people are like, "Oh, can I try one?" It's like, "I'm sure, yeah, go ahead." So this past year, May, we were there on the
25th
last
or
weekend of
something.
May.
Yeah, but last weekend.
We brought over 150 cigars and handed out almost all of them. So there
Oh,
was
wow.
tons of us smoking. This aren't people that you would expect to smoke, just a bunch of horror nerds. And we were outside and drinking and smoking till I don't know 4 in the morning.
Just having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and
Mm.
that was my experience. Like one, I have good friends from like high school that now own a shop in Fort Worth. It's called Paladin Cigars. I don't know if you guys have ever been there.
That sounds familiar. Oh man, I have not been though. I know I haven't gone, so I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
It was a rad little shop. They have like a front lounge and then they have like a back private lounge that's open to the public, but like you can have that separation, and they have a very large humidor. I was
Mm-hmm.
pretty impressed with what they carry. But just enjoying my time there, and like the restaurants let you smoke inside there, like while you're
Yes.
eating. Like
Love
it's it was amazing. I was just like, oh my god, I need to move to Dallas
Yeah,
just because of the cigar culture.
that blew my mind. We didn't take any lighters because we wanted to get them confiscated. So we
Right.
went at the hotel we used to stay at, where they used to have the convention. They have a little tram that'll stop at different places around downtown in
Hmm.
Old Town Fort Worth. And we got off on one spot, and right across was a cigar shop. We go in, beautiful shop. It had plenty of stuff, and they had 2 humidors. But their lounge was 2 chairs, one for the owner, one for his friend. And we're like, where can we smoke these? He's like, oh, go right next door to the restaurant. You guys order a drink, order some food, and smoke. We're like, you're
Yeah,
joking. It's
I
like,
know. It's like a culture shock. You're like, what do you
yeah.
mean?
100%. Yeah, it
Like,
was
where am
such a
I?
fun time.
And then we
Well,
went to this Brazilian place, that they come carve it at your table thing.
yeah.
And Miguel's all, there's a humidor behind you. And I'm like, what? And sure enough, there's a humidor in a smoking room right there in the restaurant. I'm like,
Just right there.
it's amazing.
Well, and there's this, I'm gonna blank on the name of it, but there's a steakhouse in Dallas that like the dinner itself is like $250 or $300, but you smoke a cigar with the steak, like while you're eating. And so I was like, well, when I have a little bit of money, like next time I'm gonna venture in
Yeah.
there. But yeah, just it was amazing. And like the great thing was is I was with like 4 or 5 colleagues because we were there for a conference, and all the ladies were like, oh my god, like I love the smell of cigars, like let's go. Like they were super pumped about it. Like one of my coworkers' sons is super into cigars, so it was funny. I was feeding her a bunch of information, and she's like texting her son, and at one point he was like, how do you know all of this?
Ah,
Like,
that's awesome.
it was pretty funny. But no, I would love to go back to Dallas and explore more. I'd love to go to like Miami, where like the culture is very accepting there, and just try
You
new
have to go
stuff.
to
Like,
Ybor City. We did, it's in Tampa. It's like a
Yeah.
little
oh,
offshoot of Tampa. And we did the Cigar Heritage Festival media. And
mm,
they put us in this really nice little hotel. And the street that it's on, it was about half a mile from the event. So
hmm,
we went
Kidding.
walking just to check out the city. Every other little shop on this block, on this street, was a cigar shop, and they weren't where they were selling, Romeos and Olivas all the time. It was their own rollers there doing it. So every
right.
shop was different. It was amazing.
So many different blends, so many different people, good coffee everywhere, a bunch of Cuban sandwiches.
Hmm.
I never wanted to leave. Like if I could have, you know, stolen just like a little bench somewhere and hung out forever, I would still be there right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we live in the states that we're in.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
It
but
is what it is, but
But I
it's
mean,
not going away.
you guys could have drinks with cigars. I mean, Fox Bar does a really good job.
no, we can't. So Fox's is in Arizona. So, um, we used to have a lounge here, that was a restaurant lounge called Hardwater in Reno. It kind of they sold, and then whoever took over was now called the Parlor, and they got rid of the cigar smoking, but the casinos don't allow it
Oh,
inside. There's like maybe one lounge left in downtown Reno in the casinos that you can actually go in and smoke.
oh,
um we have that open air law. You have to be 35 feet away from any business or front of building if you're smoking a cigar. So unless you're like inside of a lounge, not really. So yeah.
Yeah, because the casinos in Vegas too, they're cutting back on cigars. I mean, it's crazy. We tried to light one up. There's a Ellis Island. We're staying at Ellis Island,
Hmm.
and they were doing karaoke. So hell yeah, let's go do some karaoke.
Yeah.
And there was an ashtray there. I was like, oh, can we smoke? Ladies like, yeah, absolutely, go ahead. So she gets our drink orders, turns around. We take out our cigars, we clip them right before
Hmm.
lunch. Oh no, cigarettes only.
What?
I'm like, what?
yeah.
She's like, you can smoke at the bar in the main floor, but if they ask you to put out your cigar, you got to put it out. And a lot of the tables are doing the same thing.
Well, and I mean, I think that we have like an interesting acceptance when we're there for like PCA and
Right.
TPE, but when I go for other stuff for like work, I can't smoke anywhere outside of the lounges.
Mm-hmm.
Like they get very upset about it. So unless you're in like one of those weird casino pit bars, but then they're like
Mm-hmm.
kind of okay with it. But I just don't even ask anymore. Like I'll just smoke it unless they tell me no, because I'm just not even gonna. I'd rather ask for forgiveness, right, rather than permission. So.
Right. Now,
Exactly.
I heard this. I don't know if it's true. Definitely gonna find out when we go. But Casa Fuente had to get rid of their patio that they have in the mall area because they were
Why?
getting complaints of the smoke.
I also
So
heard
now
that, yeah.
they only have from the front door to the lounge area.
That is like the whole purpose of that's like one of my favorite lounges. One
Mm-hmm.
for like the mojitos because they're fire,
Oh
but
yeah.
I mean that whole front patio with like the waterfall is great, and you can people watch and
I'll say
just hang
people watching,
out.
best
Like,
thing.
yeah, like that. People need to stop being so sensitive to things. Like, good lord.
It's true. It's getting to be too. Everyone complains about something. There's always something to complain about, and
Yeah.
just because I don't know. I don't know. I just let me do my thing. All right. That's all I would like to be able to tell people. I wish it was adult enough to either, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, stay away from it.
Well, it's like I understand the risks of smoking, right? And cigars are a little bit different than cigarettes, right? And some other stuff that you can smoke. But at the same time, like I've accepted those risks and
'Cause you're an adult.
I'm an adult, but I'm not gonna like light up a cigar and like blow it into someone else's face. You know, I'm
Right.
sorry that you can lightly smell it somewhere, but like at the same time, like I'm not telling you what to eat. I'm not telling you that you need to exercise. I'm not telling you you need to go to your doctor once a year. Like if you want to start splitting hairs here on like what's healthy, like just saying.
Yeah, let's be clear on those lines then, because I think McDonald's is going to hurt a lot more people than General is going to do anytime
Mm-hmm.
soon.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. And it's not
Yeah.
like I'm running into Chuck E. Cheese and like I'm going to light up a cigar in here. It. I
You're
would go
not
to
doing
places
that?
that
What
I
do you
would
mean?
expect. Yeah. Well, okay, maybe Dave and Buster's. If I'm being 100% honest, maybe Dave and Buster's, because I would definitely do. Then I would play air hockey. It's the only time if I had a cigar and air hockey, then I would play. This is I don't. We might have mentioned this on the show. I get very angry when I lose at air hockey. I don't know why. It's like one of the only things that I get over and above, just like the anger level. Yeah, it's bad. Bad.
I almost want to see you play air hockey for that reason.
Yeah, you do.
No,
Do
no,
I?
no, 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 no,
Are we
no.
gonna find an air hockey table while we're in
And
Vegas?
the best way for air hockey to end is it being a tie game,
Look at her
and he
looking
hits
so
it,
upset.
and it goes into his own goal.
Oh no.
That's like Christmas and my birthday all wrapped into one.
I should not have mentioned any of those things. I don't even know why I did. I feel so dumb right now.
I do have a quick question about Nevada.
Yeah.
Um, how is it with smoking around the lakes? Are you guys allowed to smoke?
So if you're talking about like Lake Tahoe,
Yeah.
because half of it is California, no. Do I do it anyways? Yes. The Nevada side, I haven't had any problems with, but in terms of like the other lakes, there's really no regulation to like not smoking out there.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, because we can't smoke on the beach
at all?
at all.
At all. Yeah, you're not supposed to, but people do anyway. I mean,
Will you get fined if like
Hmm.
you're oh,
yeah,
that's fun.
it's
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like, oh, we want to keep everyone safe. What's more ventilated than outside near the ocean? I don't quite
Right.
understand that one. Like, I don't. But we've got a really good what do you call it, ventilation system here. It's wonderful. You can barely hear it. It's still going full speed right now.
Hmm.
You're telling me this is better than
Open
the
air.
sky? Like what?
What I don't understand with public spaces, because it's supposed to be shared
Hmm.
space, why we're not allowed to smoke. And I get it with like, I don't know, like I get annoyed when cigarette smokers light up, but I'm not going to tell them not to do it,
Hmm.
because I hate the smell. And I guess it's the same for cigar smokers, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't know. Cigars are such a treat. Like it's
Yeah,
frustrating. So,
it's very frustrating. I
Yeah.
think it's a lack of knowledge and understanding on other people's part. Not to just like blame everyone who doesn't smoke cigars, but they just
right.
lump it in with oh, it's a big cigarette. It's like that's not even close. It's really not. And I've heard people as we're at selling events, like families will pass by and we're still selling cigars, and they'll just kind of walk on through, or their kid will ask, hey, what are those? And the mom or the dad will be like, oh, it's a big cigarette, just get away from it. Like, I'm not going to correct you in front of your kid. Like, I'm not going to be a jerk about it, but you
Right.
are wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Well, so interesting is you guys know I work in healthcare, right? And like even now, vape is getting lumped in to tobacco,
Hmm.
even though it's not tobacco, right? It's a chemical compound that people smoke, and still don't really know the adverse effects of it, right? Because it's so
True.
new to the market.
Yeah.
Besides like the weird lung infections that pop up, but like that's now getting lumped in, so like that's going to affect our industry even more because of the risks with that, especially with youth. So it's just really interesting, like how it's perceived not only on like a cultural level, but a state level and a federal level, right? Like,
Right.
it's not the same as cigarettes. It's not the same as a vape. It's not. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we had a town hall meeting out here with the city council, and it was about banning flavored tobacco in the city or in the county.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went, you know, thinking they were talking about tobacco. It was all about vape. That was their focus, was vape. So, but I will say I was impressed with the shop owners from the vape stores.
Mm-hmm.
They put up a really good argument, you know, and they really knew their stuff, and they made the city council people that were trying to ban them look dumb. I mean, they're talking about, yeah, the flavors because I used to be a smoker. I don't want to smoke anymore.
Right. So
And
they
if I'm
turned to
gonna
vape.
take a vape, I
Yeah.
don't want it to taste like tobacco. I want it to
Right.
taste like something I'm going to enjoy. And I was like, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So they're
Well,
like,
that's
yeah,
the
how do you
big
get out?
argument. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting, and I mean that's why looping back to PCA, like that event is so important, like for our industry, right? Because
Oh,
that with the lobbyists and all the initiatives that they do, and taking a stand and like really bringing the community together, like I think that's why PCA is so important, like for this industry.
oh,
But
100%.
I will say my only
100%.
issue with the PCA is they don't spend enough time here in California. A lot of what happens
mm,
here dominoes into the rest of the states, like you said, and affects everybody else. So they started here, oh, it works there, we're going to put it everywhere else, and we rarely see our rep doing much. I mean, I'd like to see our people out here in California do a lot more. I mean, I know they
is
do a
that
lot in Washington, which makes
right?
sense,
Right.
but I'd like to see them here more. Like at the tobacco thing that we went to, I would have liked to see them there.
Yeah.
Now, is that just because like your guys' laws are like so tight on tobacco that like there's really not much they can do, or like what's your
That's my
perception on that?
assumption, but I mean,
Yeah.
just to see them put in a little bit of effort, because I mean,
Right.
I believe our rep lives in San Diego, and that's one of the
Mm.
most lenient towns for tobacco because they have tons of lounges, and I mean, they love tobacco down there. They love cigars in San Diego.
I did not know
So
that.
yeah, I'd like
Oh,
to see them come
that's a
up a
great
little bit
culture right
north
there.
and
Yeah.
at least put in a little bit of a fight just to let us know that they're trying.
Right. Right.
We're talking with reps from PCA though, and the last year or the year before that, I can't remember, but just kind of bringing that point up, and not to put all the blame on the rep or the not rep, excuse me, the retailers,
Right.
but California has some of the fewest retailers who have joined PCA,
Hmm.
so it also just shows like they've got to support they got to support the PCA for the PCA to support them.
Right.
It doesn't make sense for them to put so much effort into a state that's not essentially pulling its own weight in this fight, because it is a fight we're in right now for some very very ridiculous rules they want to implement,
Hmm.
which it's rough to see it happen, and it's very nice when we see these little wins here and there, but
Yeah.
there's always going to be someone trying to ban tobacco.
I just feel like as if you're a passionate cigar smoker, I mean, even a hobbyist, like you should just do like a glimpse, like a small educational thing on what the laws are, like what's coming up, because it's important for you to know. Because at some point, you're going to see a law pass like you can't smoke after the age of like 22 or something. So it's important to stay. I don't want to say like proactive, but just educated.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
but
That's a great point because I mean, look at what's happening in Hawaii. They're trying to get it to where every year or so or something they push the smoking age back a decade to where basically they're going to phase it out altogether. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Yeah, they'll take a decade of like, I think it started at 75 or something, and they're working their way down
Hmm.
to
oh wow,
slowly just get rid of all smoking in general.
I
And
didn't. I haven't heard that one. That's interesting.
yeah, I
Hmm.
forget the gentleman's name, but they are like one of the biggest importers for cigars into Hawaii. And there's only one island has lounges.
Hmm.
Gosh, I believe it's the more touristy one. I can't remember for sure. I've never been to Hawaii myself, so I can't speak on it too much.
Right.
But I have heard that the just getting more and more difficult. And
Yeah.
such a small area to begin with. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, do you guys heard what happened in Oregon, right?
No.
So in Oregon, they just passed a law that any new lounges, cigar lounges that are created, they're not allowed to have more than 3 seats in that lounge
Wow.
because they're trying to ban all indoor smoking. So I mean, there are grandfathered lounges into that clause that are like pre-established, but anyone that wants to open a new shop, 3 chairs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. What about? All right, now hear me out here. What about hammocks?
Oh, good point.
Hammocks for days. It's not a seat technically. I mean, you
The
can sit on
smoking
them.
hammock. I like it.
Yes. Think
There has to
about
be a
that.
loophole on what's considered a chair, right?
Right?
Yeah. What about my beanbag chair? What about? Oh no, it's got chair in the name.
You can call it a beanbag.
Just call it beanbag. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
What about like a camper's chair, like a little like
you bring your own
folding,
little
like a
folding ones out?
yeah.
Now you're yeah. What do you call it? Drew Estate made some really cool ones. So there we go. Just send those on over to Oregon. Boom.
You get benches and tables and do it family style.
I like
This is just
family.
one big chair. Don't worry. So everyone
Right.
sits together.
We'll just call it,
I'd like to see
the
a
Last
lounge.
Supper.
I'm not breaking that bread. All right. I'm not cracking my cigar in half.
I'd like to see a lounge, like be total assholes about it and buy those huge folding chairs. You know, the ones that are like 7 feet tall. Put 3 of those in there just to be funny about it.
Yeah.
Just so like multiple people can sit in them.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. It's like I forget what I just remember the pictures of the farmer who wasn't allowed to build a stable for his horses, so he built a giant table. And it's like, no, I'm allowed to build picnic furniture in my own pasture. So just a giant horse-sized table, so they could be
That like
underneath.
they could like fit under.
Yeah. I gotta find those pictures. It's hilarious to look at, but genius idea.
And then that would have come in handy also. Those umbrellas that have the little stool on the other end. So it's you flip it over and you sit on the handle part. It's a chair with the little rubber on the bottom so it doesn't slip.
What?
You just have those in the front. People come in. Oh, I better use this umbrella.
It might start raining in here. Yeah.
I mean, if history's taught us anything, especially with like prohibition and alcohol, people are still gonna do what they're gonna do.
Oh, they'll
like,
find a way.
You're not gonna stop them. So I mean, come on.
So that means an owner could get 2 suites, have a door that connects them. Like,
Right.
oh well, that's just a place for people to sit down and do whatever they want.
Right.
Oh, it's a co-working space that we also allow
Yeah.
smoking in. Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's an office space, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And they just so happen to have their cigars on them. I don't know. I don't tell them what to do in there.
Well, the casinos here, when they first passed the like Clean Air Act, right, which was like no smoking indoors, they wrote in a clause for the casinos if there was gaming inside of it, you could have smoking inside of it. So a lot of bars got gaming machines so they could continue to be smoking bars.
Smart.
Nice.
So
I love that idea too. It's like we need clean air unless you're also doing something else that is a vice.
So
You need to do both of them at once, not just one.
you pay for your
And
cigar.
have
they
it be
give
a
you
bar.
token.
Yeah.
Has to be a part. So you're drinking, you're smoking, and you're
And
gambling.
you're gambling.
You got to do all. You know what? We're gonna turn this also into what do you call a brothel? You're gonna do everything bad in one place. All right.
It's legal here. I mean, it could happen.
I forgot about that. Jesus.
All right. PCA 2025. Don't enter Reno.
Kona Reno.
What do you call
Yeah,
it? Hey, Lorenzo, how you doing? And we're coming close towards the end, but besides, obviously the big ones, is there any events that you like to go to that maybe other people haven't had a chance to check out yet?
So you'll never catch me at a big smoke.
Nah.
And the only reason why is just they're too chaotic. I don't want to go to like a booth and wait in line for 20 minutes to get like one stick, and then you don't even get to talk to the reps or the owners and like get to know the brand. But what is it? Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival in Denver. I've always wanted to go to it. I haven't had the opportunity to do so yet, but if it ever comes up, that would be the one that I go to. And the reason why is, and I'm sure you guys know this, they bundle all your cigars up front. So you literally pick up your cigars and then you can go and walk around for the day and actually get to meet people and conversate and smoke cigars. And then if you want to buy more, you can, but much, much better setup.
I heard that, yeah, the deals are insane. So Not only are you
Mhm.
getting, what you paid for to begin with, but you bring a little extra cash, you can, stock up on what what you want as well. I love that.
Yeah. Well, but the tickets sell out almost instantly, just so you
Yeah.
guys know that. So
Yeah. We had tickets last year because oh no, is it Rocky Mountain or is it another one that Smoker Friendly is in charge of?
I don't
I
know.
think it's Rocky Mountain. Yeah, Smoker Friendly. They've got a bunch of shops and they basically just do the middleman work for them. So they'll stock everyone. It's a lot of
yeah.
like small mom and pops, not really not lounges so much, but like stop and goes. And they're connected to each other. So Smoker Friendly helps put on the event. And um Polina gave us some tickets, but it was like the same weekend we were doing something else. Like I can't
Mhm.
go. I was so upset. I was like, I I want to. I promise you, I want to go. And we had tickets. They were like in hand. We were ready to go, and there was just no way. And now I don't know if she's gonna give me more. So we got to be super friendly, I guess.
Well, here we are. So
That's true. I think I might have pointed her out to you before. She's got cool tattoos. She goes to PCA. Um, she's a
you'll have
blonde.
you'll have to reintroduce me.
I
So
will. Don't worry. Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
I always go there and I try to flirt with her in front of her boyfriend because he's super cool too.
You
Yeah,
flirt with
and
everybody.
is that a bad thing? I don't. What is? I'm on trial here now.
You're the one that opened the door. I'm just saying.
That is fair. I open a lot of doors because I got a
Mhm.
charming personality and I'll make fun of myself. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's get off that topic. Back to the because we have not done the California Dreamin' Volume 2 Long Ash contest. Did I get some? I gave you like one, I think, maybe two, or if I didn't, I'll get you some more.
I think you did. I'll check.
Okay,
So
just in
I'll
case.
double
I'll have
check.
some more on hand at PCA, but
Yeah.
we gotta get you in on that one because
Yeah.
reigning champ has to defend her title.
I mean, it has to be done. So
It's true. I think whoever comes in line, like we'll have to measure between the three of us who gets the shortest long ash. That person has to dine in the dark by themselves, while the other two
ooh.
get to mess with them while they're in the dark.
Oh man.
Or you have to be blindfolded in the next restaurant we go eat in. So then we
Just
can
any
really
rest.
mess with you. Just any restaurant.
Oh my god. Let's go to what is it called? The one where they're really mean. Dick's Last Resort. So the waitresses will get in on it too. Oh my god, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, let's do it.
I like that plan. I am 100% on board for that.
Challenge
100%.
accepted.
Someone's awful quiet because they've won one ash contest over here too, but he got lucky because the dude who was supposed to win went outside for some air for a second, and then came back and stumbled and knocked his ash down.
Oh,
That's the only reason you won that. I'm guaranteeing you. I know he would have beat you.
but this bet is going to be like the zombie apocalypse, right? You don't have to be the fastest runner. You just don't have to be the slowest. Like,
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
See?
So just a matter of keeping pace, and then I'm gonna do one
Yeah.
of these to Frankie's and just tap it real quick.
Horrible.
Oh my gosh! All right, so we are at our hour, guys. Kat, I cannot wait to see you in just a couple weeks now.
Very excited.
Anything you
Yeah.
want to let them know before we let you go, though?
Yeah, where can they
No.
find you? And how do you come
Oh.
up with all of your interesting little tobacco
All the facts.
tidbits?
Yeah.
Oh my facts. So books are usually where I get them from. Amazon is a great resource. Just type in cigar books. That's usually where I get most of my stuff from, or just doing research on the internet, which I've found isn't quite as accurate in the fact category, but still a good resource. And then you guys can find me at katarina.marie.xo on Instagram. So yeah.
Go check her
But
out. Go check out the turtle shirt because it makes an appearance quite often.
but I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. I'm super excited. Yep.
Yes. Yes. All right. We'll let you go for now, but it was good seeing you and talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right.
So
Bye,
yep.
guys. All right, guys. That was Kat. Always good to talk to her.
Mhm.
And yes, she is a long ash smoking champion. So be careful there if you ever get challenged by her. Put that deal up there one more time again, guys. That is the packs. You get 2 packs of California Dreamin' Volume 2, 5 random sticks of Pariah Cigars, and you're gonna get the T-shirt for $110. Up to you. Get it to you that way so you can check it out. I forgot to put the picture of me wearing it, but whatever. You don't want to see that anyway. Get that deal ASAP because I think I'm going to close it off Monday just so we can get everyone's sizes together and put that order and get those shirts out ASAP. But big shout out again to Work Hard Supply Co. for doing such a cool job with those things. I mean, it's an awesome logo,
Yeah.
and I love that shirt. Thank you again for that. But other than that, we'll be back Monday. We'll definitely be back Tuesday, and we will see you all next week, guys. We're getting ready for PCA. We're putting it in. Oh, Peter, what do you call it? The Jack Daniels is going to be probably shipped into 2 orders.
Yeah,
So your
I'm
cigars are
sorry.
going to come separately.
Again, I've been so nervous about how to ship it to you. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it up and just stuff the shit out of it with bubble wrap, and then put a small piece of tape on the box to close it. So if it damages the box a little bit, I apologize. And then wrap that also in bubble wrap because I'm just so nervous about that bottle breaking. It's just been my main thing, and I was actually thinking of wrapping the whole bottle in bubble wrap and sending that to you in one package and sending the box with the rest of the stuff. Because yeah, you have no idea. Like I was like, I do not want something to happen to this bottle because I'm gonna be hard pressed to find another one. So
Yeah.
it's
They're officially out in town.
yeah. So it's been nerve wracking. I'm like, shit, I do not know how to send this. So I'm gonna find a way to make sure that it's as secure as I can make it before I ship it out to you. Because yeah, it's just I don't want something to happen to it.
100%. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. Y'all have a great weekend. We will talk to you soon.
Yep.
Yeah.